Welcome back to FarmGear Innovators, where horsepower meets brainpower and the future of farming rolls on treads. If you thought agriculture was all sweat and shovels, think again. Today's farms run on tech that looks like it came straight out of a sci-fi movie, and we're here to bring you front row seats to the biggest, baddest, most jaw-dropping machines changing the game forever. We're talking 900 horsepower beasts that can chop silage like butter, laser-firing robots that vaporize weeds without a drop of herbicide, and self-driving harvesters that climb steep mountain vineyards like mountain goats with engines. This is not your grandpa's tractor show. This is high-octane ag tech, tailored for the American farmer who's got big acreage, bold vision, and zero time for breakdowns. So if you're ready to witness the cutting edge of soil, steel, and sustainability, stick around. Smash that subscribe button, grab a strong cup of coffee, and let's dig into the machines so smart, so tough. They're not just tools, they're legends in the making. This is FarmGear Innovators, where farming meets the future. Let's roll. One, the yellow monster. How the Ploger MK KC4TR is redefining leafy crop harvesting. All right, folks, let's kick things off with a machine so bold, so efficient. Farmers have nicknamed it the yellow monster. Say hello to the Ploger MK KC4TR, a high-performance leafy crop harvester that's not just fast, it's surgical. This beast is built to dominate spinach, kale, parsley, cilantro, you name it. With its 20-foot wide cutting head, it swipes through entire beds of leafy greens in one pass like it's slicing butter. But here's where it gets seriously smart just behind the blade. There's a precision roller that ensures clean, uniform cuts right at the stem, a crucial detail if you want quick regrowth and multiple harvests per season. Now picture this farm in Yuma, Arizona. One guy used to need 15 workers hand-cutting spinach all day. He brought in the Ploger, and boom, one operator, one machine, and triple the output. That's not just time saved, that's profit in motion. Mini lesson when harvesting leafy greens. Consistency is king. Uneven cuts can damage regrowth, cause disease, or flat out ruin product quality. This machine gets it right every time. And it's not just the head. The Glass Terra truck tracks give it insane stability across soft, wet, or uneven terrain. Muddy field after rain, no problem. The yellow monster glides through it like a tank with ballet shoes. So what does this mean for the future of leafy farming speed? Precision, sustainability, and less dependence on seasonal labor. But that's just the appetizer. Folks, coming up next, a machine that's all about grain, power, and gentle touch. We're diving into the Axial Flow 9250, and trust me, you don't want to miss it. Let's roll. Two, the silent revolution, Case IH Axial Flow 9250, and the rise of gentle harvesting. All right, gearheads and field fanatics, if the Ploger was built for leafy speed, then the Case IH Axial Flow 9250 is the masterclass in grain respect. This isn't just a combine, it's a grain whisperer, and it's quietly leading a revolution in how we treat our harvest. Let's break it down. The 9250 is part of the Axial Flow 250 Series Class 9 muscle, paired with 634 horses under the hood, thanks to that FPT Cursor 16 engine. Sounds powerful. Right, it is. But here's where it flips the script. All that power is used not to crush grain, but to protect it. At the heart of this machine is the single rotor axial flow system. Unlike traditional systems with multiple aggressive threshing components, this rotor rotates crops gently, separating kernels from husks without beating them to death. Why does that matter? Because less breakage, it's more usable yield, more money in your bin. Let me give you an example. A wheat farmer in Nebraska upgraded from an older dual rotor to the 9250. Post-harvest analysis showed 15% less cracked grain, and dockage fees at the elevator dropped to nearly zero. That's thousands in savings with every load. And let's talk capacity. This combine sports a 3,800-gallon grain tank, meaning fewer stops, longer runs, and more acres harvested per hour. Pair that with the MacDon FD2 flexible belt header, and now you've got a header that hugs the land, adapting to every dip and contour like it's reading the field's mind. Small lesson here, gentle doesn't mean weak. With the right engineering, you can combine brute strength with finesse, and the 9250 proves it. But if you think this is where efficiency peaks, hold on to your hats. Next up. We're heading into the industrial frontier with a crop that's making a serious comeback, hemp. And the machines used to harvest it, they're like nothing you've seen. Stay tuned. Industrial hemp, the forgotten gold rush in modern farming. Now this one's for the innovators, the pioneers, the folks looking for the next big thing in American agriculture. Because buried beneath layers of outdated regulations and forgotten potential is a crop with gold rush energy, and its name is industrial hemp. We're not talking about CBD boutiques or trendy teas here. We're talking hemp as raw industrial muscle used in bioplastics, car panels, insulation, paper, and even construction blocks. And the backbone of this resurgence. A fleet of specialized harvesting machines turning this tough plant into a modern-day cash crop. Let's spotlight the Dutch powerhouse Dunagro, one of Europe's hemp pioneers. Their fleet includes 3 Class Zerion 4000 track tractors and a custom-modified AGFA Big 6, all rigged with Shelburne Reynolds headers. These machines aren't just harvesting, they're engineering the crop on the fly, separating leaves, flowers, and stalks in a single clean sweep. Why does this matter? Because industrial hemp isn't your average plant. It grows fast, stands tall, and has fibers so tough they'll laugh at standard cutters. The key is multi-part processing. And Dunagro's setup slices stems into perfect 12-inch chunks for fiber use, while preserving the high-value floral components up top. Quick lesson here. If you're growing hemp with old-school equipment, you're leaving half the money in the field. Efficient separation is everything. And let's not forget the bigger picture. The U is slowly loosening up its regulations on industrial hemp. When that door swings open fully, you better believe the demand for smart, rugged, multi-purpose harvesting systems is going to explode. Think carbon-neutral materials, biodegradable packaging, even eco-construction, all riding on the back of this once-forgotten crop. And just when you think we've reached peak complexity, we double down. Because coming up next is a dual-action harvester that doesn't just handle hemp, it handles 2 missions in one pass. Let's talk double-cut innovation and why smart farming is no longer optional. Stick with us. 4 cotton to bales in minutes, inside the John Deere CP690 cotton picker. Now we're headed to the deep south where cotton is still king, and harvest season is a race against weather, time, and manpower. Enter the John Deere CP690, a machine so advanced it doesn't just pick cotton, it bales it, wraps it, and drops it, all in one seamless motion. This isn't a picker. Folks, it's a rolling factory on wheels. Under the hood, it packs a 560 horsepower John Deere PowerTech engine that drives 6 massive picking drums. As it moves down the row, those drums pluck cotton right from the boll with incredible precision. No unnecessary damage, no waste. But here's where it gets wild. Instead of dumping cotton into a module builder or waiting for a separate baler, The CP690 automatically forms a round bale on the go. Each one weighs in at roughly 5,000 pounds and measures about 8 feet in diameter. Then it wraps it in protective plastic and gently places it on the field. Ready for pickup. No stops, no downtime. Let's take a real-world example. A grower in Elkmont, Alabama 3,000 acres of cotton switched to CP690s and cut labor needs by 40%. Eliminated the need for a separate module builder and saved tens of thousands on equipment and fuel over just 2 seasons. Lesson time. In high-volume cash crops like cotton, every extra handling step is a point of failure. More labor, more time, more cost. The CP690 eliminates those points by turning the picker into a self-contained harvest-to-bale system. And it's not just about speed. These pre-wrapped bales are weather-protected, keeping quality high even if rain hits before pickup. That's huge in regions where harvest time often flirts with storm season. So where does that take us simple forward? Because just like cotton, hemp, forage, and specialty crops are getting their own high-tech makeover. Coming up next, the double-cut harvester that's quietly shaking up the CBD world and redefining what one pass across the field can really do. Let's keep rolling. Five, the rise of the robots, laser weeder, and the future of herbicide-free farming. All right, tech heads, now we're stepping into the future, and it doesn't come with a spray boom or a tank full of chemicals. It comes with laser beams and artificial intelligence. Welcome to the new frontier of weeding, the Carbon Robotics Laser Weeder. This machine looks like something out of a DARPA lab, but it's made for dirt. It uses high-powered lasers, guided by computer vision and AI, to identify and vaporize weeds with surgical precision. No herbicides, no chemical runoff, and no damage to your crops, just heat, light, and clean soil left behind. Here's how it works mounted on a robotic platform. The laser weeder scans the ground using high-res cameras. The AI distinguishes between crop and weed based on shape, size, and pixel patterns, and when it finds an intruder, it fires a super-focused laser burst that destroys the weed's growing point in milliseconds. Let's look at an example from a California lettuce farm. Before switching to the laser weeder, they were spending over $150 per acre on hand weeding. After deploying this bot, that number dropped to just under $30 and no herbicides in sight. Long-term, it pays for itself in about 2 seasons. Quick lesson, chemical weed control isn't just expensive, it's under increasing regulation. Markets and consumers are demanding cleaner, safer food. Tools like the laser weeder aren't a gimmick, they're the answer. And let's be honest, what farmer doesn't want to roll out a robot that fries weeds like something out of Star Wars? But don't think high-tech only lives in the vegetable patch. Up next, we're headed into the world of dual-cut harvesting, where one machine does 2 jobs at once and keeps both the high-value flower and the strong industrial stalk. Get ready, this one's a game changer for hemp, CBD, and beyond. Let's keep going. Six, twin-purpose hemp machines. The genius of the John Deere 660i double cut. Now we're talking efficiency with brains. Because in hemp farming, every part of the plant has value from the flower up top to the fiber-packed stalk down below. And the machine that gets it all in one smart pass, that's the John Deere 660i double cut. This machine is a dual-action genius, custom-engineered for the hemp industry's fast-evolving needs. Up top, it's got a 15-foot wide header that gently cuts and collects the flower heads and leaves the good stuff used in CBD oils, extracts, and hemp teas. Meanwhile, beneath the surface, there's a second cutting system that slices the stalks into clean 2-foot sections, laying them neatly on the field for fiber processing or natural decomposition. Let's break that down with a real-world case. HemFlex, a Dutch hemp contractor, was doing 2 separate harvests, one for flowers and one for stalks. burning through double the time, labor, and fuel. When they switched to the 1660i double-cut single-pass efficiency, fewer machines and fewer people, and zero compromise on quality. Mini lesson here. In modern hemp farming, separation equals profit, but separation doesn't have to mean multiple machines. The right harvester can think vertically. And here's another kicker: by laying stalks cleanly on the field, you're setting up for perfect retting conditions. That's the process that breaks down the pectin, so the bast fiber can be separated easily during processing. It's one of those behind-the-scenes steps that makes or breaks fiber quality, and this machine nails it. So what does this mean for you as summer growers? As the hemp market expands, especially for dual-use operations, the double-cut approach is how you stay competitive and profitable without turning harvest into a 2-week slog. Now, speaking of smart machines that adapt to tricky terrain, what happens when your crops aren't growing on flat plains, but steep hillsides? Coming up next, a grape harvester that conquers the slopes like a mountain goat with precision hydraulics. Don't go anywhere. Seven, farming on the edge. How the CH500 grape harvester conquers steep slopes. All right, folks, let's leave the flatlands behind and head for the hills literally. Because if you're growing grapes in places like the Rhine Valley in Germany or the Alpine slopes of Switzerland, you know this gravity is not your friend. Traditional harvesters can't handle steep terrain. That's where the CH500 grape harvester steps in, a specialized machine that's turning hillside viticulture into a precision art form. The CH500 isn't your average harvester with wheels and hope. This beast mounts into a crawler tractor platform, giving it the traction and balance to cling to extreme slopes where even humans struggle to walk straight. Set up about 30 minutes to mount or remove the harvesting unit. That's flexibility in action. But the real magic is in the harvesting mechanism. The CH500 uses low-impact shaking arms that gently vibrate the grapevines, causing only the ripe grapes to fall into cushioned catch plates. No tearing vines, no bruising the fruit. Just a clean, efficient pull, ideal for premium wine production where grape quality is everything. Here's a real-world story. A small-scale winemaker in Austria cut harvest time in half, improved grape quality, and reduced labor costs by 40% after switching to the CH500 system. On steep terrain, that's the difference between thriving and just surviving. Lesson of the day: terrain shouldn't dictate your crop. With the right machine, even the most challenging landscape becomes productive, profitable, and scalable. But if you think harvesting on hills is wild, wait until you see how American farmers are turning to forage crops as an emergency solution and pulling it off with gear that covers more ground, faster and cleaner. Next up, sorghum, sooting grass, and the mowing setup that's helping farms bounce back from a rough planting season. Keep it locked. Eight, the power of precision. Planting corn with millimeter accuracy. Now let's shift gears from harvesting to planting, because what you put in the ground sets the tone for everything that comes after. And when it comes to corn, accuracy isn't optional. It's the difference between average and record-breaking yields. Enter the Fendt 930 Vario paired with the Amazon ED Precision Planter, a duo that's making millimeter-level planting the new standard. Let's break it down. The Fendt 930 Vario brings power and traction, but the real star here is the Amazon ED Planter, a 12-row powerhouse designed to place each seed at the exact right depth and spacing. Why does that matter? Because corn doesn't forgive inconsistency. One seed too shallow, too close, or too far, and you're already losing money. Add in GPS-guided auto steering, and this system doesn't just drive straight, it drives perfectly straight, even across rolling fields or low-light conditions. No overlaps, no skips, just rows as clean and even as a ruler line. Take a contractor in Luxembourg who planted over 1,200 acres last spring using this exact combo. Post-season analysis showed germination rates over 98% and input savings of nearly 15% due to reduced overlap and better seed placement. That's real ROI. Mini lesson seed is expensive. Time is limited. You only get one shot to plant it right. Precision isn't just about fancy tech. It's about maximizing every single seed you put in the ground. And this technology isn't just for the mega operations. With scalability options and data integrations, even mid-sized farms can get in the game and start closing yield gaps with smart equipment choices. Up next, we're going from millimeter accuracy to gallon-by-gallon efficiency. Because if seed placement is king in spring, then irrigation control is your ace in the heat of summer. Get ready to see how modern hose reels and pivot systems are turning every drop into a profit. Let's keep it moving. Nine, water is gold, smart irrigation systems that save every drop. All right, farmers, let's talk about the lifeblood of every crop water. In today's climate where drought, regulation, and rising costs are hitting hard, efficiency isn't a luxury, it's survival. And the best farms out there are investing in smart irrigation systems that make every drop count. One standout, the Casella PLMP 150 hose reel. This isn't your grandpa's water cannon. This machine lays out over 1,500 feet of hose, precisely deploys a high-pressure sprinkler, and then automatically rewinds when the job's done. You get even coverage, minimized runoff, and reduced manual labor, all in a system built for serious acreage. Now pair that with a center pivot irrigation system, the kind you've seen sweeping across corn and soybean fields in giant arcs. These towers are guided by GPS and pressure sensors, delivering fine-tuned, wind-resistant watering directly where it's needed. Some even include corner systems, so no part of your field gets left thirsty. Real-world Case A tomato grower in California switched to this combo. Casella reels for edges, pivots for the main fields. They cut water usage by 30%, dropped fuel costs, and boosted plant uniformity. That's efficiency at scale. Quick lesson. It's not just about how much water you use, it's when, where, and how evenly. Smart irrigation prevents overwatering, reduces erosion, and keeps nutrients in the root zone where they belong. And here's the bigger picture: water scarcity is a global issue, but local efficiency is how American farms stay ahead. Whether you're in Nebraska, Texas, or the Central Valley, dialing in your irrigation can make or break your margins. Now, speaking of control, what if your tractor drivetrain could make decisions on the fly, adjusting torque and power depending on the terrain? Coming up next, we're talking Vario Drive and how it's quietly rewriting the rules of traction, turning radius and fuel economy. Let's keep this ride rolling. 10, from dirt to data. How Vario Drive is changing the way tractors think. Now for our final stop, let's talk about something under the hood that most folks never see, but once you feel it in action, you never go back. It's called Vario Drive, and it's Fendt's game-changing transmission technology that's teaching tractors how to think on the move. Traditional four-wheel drive systems, they lock in torque and hope for the best, but Vario Drive is smart. It uses stepless, active torque distribution to send power exactly where it's needed: front axle, rear axle, or both depending on load, terrain, and turning radius. That means better grip, tighter turns, and less fuel burned per pass. Let's break that down with real numbers. A Midwest row crop farmer running the Fendt 700 Vario Gen 7 reported up to 10% smaller turning radius and nearly 8% fuel savings across a full season. That's a serious cut in operating costs, not to mention less tire wear, especially when cornering with heavy implements. And here's where it really shines: wet fields, hilly terrain, or awkward headlands. The drivetrain dynamically adapts, reducing slippage, maintaining traction, and keeping your momentum up without overloading the engine. It's like having AI for traction, and it works in real time. Mini lesson in modern farming: every pass over the field costs you in fuel, in time, in wear. A smarter drivetrain doesn't just move better, it thinks better. And here's the kicker: this system is built to pair with data analytics. So every torque decision feeds into your fleet performance metrics. That's dirt to data farming. And it's not just for tomorrow, it's here now. And that wraps up today's deep dive into the world of cutting-edge ag machines, from leafy green monsters to laser bots, from hemp harvesters to smart irrigation, and finally, tractors that drive like they've got a brain. If you're serious about modern farming, this is the future you need to ride with. Subscribe, drop a comment with your favorite machine, and let us know what you want us to break down next, because here at FarmGear Innovators, we're just getting started. The new era of FarmGear Innovators. And there you have it, 10 game-changing machines that are flipping the script on how we plant, water, harvest, and manage our land. These aren't just tools. They're technological partners in the field, designed to boost efficiency, protect margins, and help you farm smarter, not harder. From the Plugger MK KC4TR slicing leafy greens with surgical precision, to the laser weeder frying weeds without a single drop of herbicide, to the Vario drive system that makes your tractor think like a field-tested veteran, this is where agriculture meets innovation. If there's one takeaway today, it's this: modern farming isn't about doing more with more. It's about doing more with better. Better data, better machines, better strategy. So whether you're running a multi-thousand-acre corn operation in Iowa or a specialty hemp field in Oregon, this gear gives you the edge to stay competitive in a market that demands speed, quality, and sustainability. And we're just scratching the surface. Drop a comment below. Let us know which machine blew your mind, or what tech you're running out in your fields. Hit that subscribe button, because here at FarmGear Innovators, we're not just showcasing the future, we're riding it straight into the next generation of farming. Stay sharp, stay powered, and we'll see you in the next one.